Here's part 2 of talking about a good chunk of my medical records. I'm on to Southern Illinois University. I basically went from barely being able to leave my apartment to forcing myself to fight through my near-faint symptoms and literally practicing standing all the time and running. And after being stuck inside so much and not getting out, I thank God back then I had a huge, not too huge, but I was using a 40-inch to plasma screen as my TV monitor, and I had 3 different sources of internet, more than enough Wi-Fi's to open Wi-Fi's to pick up at the time, to never be bored, and they were fast enough to where I could watch HD video. And then I eventually got trying to think. I was gonna say I ended up getting actual cable TV, but my self-esteem rose up, and then my symptoms declined a lot. They were still pretty bad, but I decided I was gonna test myself and enroll in this school. So I made it into the school. Ended up only literally going through pretty much 4 days of classes. In my past videos I always say 5, but I forgot that it was the first period, right into the first period of the first class of the 5th day. I had a crazy anxiety attack and near faint episode. I started feeling near faint first, which, by the way, I'll talk about a lot. And in the past, I always used to feel like I was getting near faint and vanished, and then finally, anxiety would kick in. But my current therapist can easily justify and explain how I was having anxiety before I was even feeling near faint. I just wasn't aware of it, and a lot of people aren't. Kind of boils it down to stress, but I wasn't stressed. I was happy. Real quick, before I started school, I was really unsure if I was going to make it through, but once class started, it was they're a small NCAA Division I school, but despite that fact, they're still huge. It's still a huge school with tons of students, and it blows Circle Bible College / Ohio Christian University out of the water as far as size and enrollment and history and all that. And I thought I was gonna be so dumb, going back to college as a 24-year-old, having classes with all these 18 and 19-year-olds, and they were had their studies from high school fresh in their mind. So I just thought that I was gonna feel dumb, but actually, it was almost like a day hadn't gone by, and as soon as I jumped right back into classes, I felt well above average intelligence compared to other people. So it was, and then all the stuff I was learning was exciting. I was going for video production, so it just didn't make sense why I went from feeling, and I was able to walk all over campus and ride my bike when I hadn't been able to do that very good before. And then all of a sudden it was right back to not being able to do anything. And I had switched I got a new apartment and right across the street from campus, and then all of a sudden I found myself not being able to walk very far out my door to even go check my mail. So, at Southern Illinois University, they had their own student health center, and you had mostly very close to full coverage health insurance. Still, you had to pay a little bit out of pocket, which I had plenty, and I had $3,600 in expense money, so that's how I took care of that. I remember basically like a regular doctor saw me, and then he caught on to the fact that I was having anxiety-related symptoms, so and not necessarily anxiety, but he knew that vasovagal could be coupled with anxiety, so he naturally referred me to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist, I think her name is Dr. Yolandi. Pretty sure that's it. It'll be in here. Yeah, the regular doctor was Dr. Bennett, and it's kind of depressing to know that out of shape and hardly not getting in the weight room. Even back then, I was at least 198, and then now I'm like having to like focus on eating food just to try and build myself up over 182. Sue. Alright, let's find her name. Alright, I said Yolandi. I'm kind of like mixing her first name and her last name. Usada Madali. So, Madali, not Yolandi. And here's another example of medical records being completely different of how the visit went. We openly talked about how the fact that I had vasovagal syncope, and then even right here it talks about my cardiologist, and then I was referred to an electrophysiologist for vasovagal, but then when you look at the diagnosis impression, it just says fucking general anxiety. So how can you sit there and have a patient talk about being diagnosed something by another doctor and then put that on the freaking records? But I mean, if it turns out this whole time it was just anxiety, I'm fine with that. It's just stupid, as you'll see as I go through these records, how the doctors, whoever typed these up, like leave things out and doesn't tell the whole truth. Alright, I'm trying to... Alright, yeah, so yeah, I turned 25 when obviously, heck, my first records were only 6 days before my birthday. Trying to think, maybe I was in the hospital during my birthday, so I'm pretty sure I was. guess I'd have to find the extra records. I just remember my mom and my sister drove all the way out from here in Circleville, Ohio, to, and my older sister probably actually might have been living in Asheville at the time, close enough, but I remember they at least brought me a birthday card, and I could have sworn I was still in the hospital. Despite being admitted on the 21st, I could have sworn I was there for my birthday, so maybe I was there for 6 days. Or maybe I came back, I don't know. Maybe I'll see. Yeah, I didn't have a... Yeah, definitely, obviously, skipping through records here because I had multiple follow-up visits with them with, they were called Prairie Valley Cardiovascular. They were the cardiology team, a part of Carbondale Memorial, and this is all jumps all the way to September of 2010, and it's just more notes by. All right, this isn't more notes by the psychiatrist. And 2.5 years later, I haven't been able to find a psychiatrist. Up until recently, I'm in line to see one. But if it turns out that, well, I'm going after anxiety, since a lot of doctors want to argue anxiety over cardio problem being the trigger for me feeling near faint. So just rolling with that. Even though no one's still 2.5 years later, no one has a firm diagnosis that anxiety is the trigger. Or if it's secondary. All right. So yeah, just more records from SIU Student Health Center. I started going there a few times. I remember after the first 5 weeks of classes, I had gotten back to the point where after that crazy anxiety attack during my first period, 5th day of class, I got back to the point where shortly after, where I was having trouble just leaving my apartment, or not far out of the front door of my apartment, and the student health center was it was at least a half a mile away, since it was a good sized campus, and I didn't know much about the transportation system, and anytime I tried to, and I didn't have a bicycle for the longest time, even though I had $3,600 in expense money. I couldn't make it to the darn store for the longest time to get a bike. So this one's for on 9/17. And I turned around and had to go right back. Just wanted to double check here that it's the same student health center. Had to turn around and go right back on the 21st. And the first one I was showing was from 9:10, I think I said. And then this is actually from the first day. It's actually 9/2/2010. And then, wow, I'm going to have to get back to this one later because this jumps all the way out into later history. This is Las Vegas records from early 2011. I guess I will jump back and forth, just try and keep up since that stack is mostly like my Burger Hospital records. I did have to leave Illinois, and then I was in Ohio, which is where Burger Hospital is, right here in town in Circleville. So I would have to start sorting through those on the fly. And I'd rather just keep recording, keep talking. So I was in Ohio for a while, and then later on, and Dr. Malati is the one who first put me on clonazepam, and when I was complaining earlier about how the fact she just put generalized anxiety on that one copy, trying to look really quick. I was going to say another copy they actually listed. Here's a reason I wish I had the internet right now.